It's episode 20. It's episode 20, season 11. Don't call me Shurley. And, excuse my French. I meant Chuck, damn it. Spoiler, Chuck Shurley, the author, the famous author of the Supernatural book series, is gone. So it's Chuck. You gotta go back to season 5. Just go back to season. Don't watch it without me. Watch it without me. That would really hurt my feelings. What is wrong with you? I'm already spoiling it for you. You're watching it now. If you stuck around this long. Anyway. So, our boy Chuck is gone. How do we find that out? Because our boy Metatron, aka Carson, aka Booger from Revenge of the Nerds, plays Metatron. Metatron is an archangel. He was also the scribe of God, meaning he took God because he was the only one that could understand apparently God's voice or whatever. He scribed the word of God for God. But I guess Chuck Shurley is God's vessel. Wait, I don't know how that works. Honestly, I can't explain that. You have to take that up with the writers. It's out of my hand. All right, so we begin with Metatron digging food out of a dumpster because he became human for a minute. Again, we'll get to that. We're going backwards. We're going back in time here. It's the whole. We're going in the future, I guess. All right, so he's digging for food. The irony in all of this as I'm watching it, there's a reason why I'm talking about the ones that I'm watching right now. There's a reason, because the parallels are ridiculous. Okay, so Metatron is digging in the garbage for food and finds a sandwich in a black and white checkered deli paper. And then this dog walks over and he gives the dog the sandwich rather than eat it himself, even though he's hungry. Seriously. Alright, so then out of the blue, he stumbles into an establishment and it's a bar. And there's someone sitting at a booth. And he walks over to greet the person sitting at the booth, and it's Chuck Shurley. And then Shuck, we'll call him Shuck, because that's Chuck and Shurley mixed together. It's also what you do to corn. Not the euphemism that they use on social media for something entirely different, but actually like corn on that is not the hand. That's probably hand motion for the other type that I was referring to. I'm talking about corn on the cob. Also not the band. Like the actual vegetable. Is it a vegetable? Is it a root vegetable? I don't know. I'm getting off track here. I didn't get to go to the doctor. Okay, so Chuck, a god, is sitting at this booth, and he asked Metatron to edit a book that he's written, where he explains the history of everything, but he fails to add a little tidbit of his own personal history and something that they're dealing with on a major level, and that is the darkness is back. And she's wreaking havoc on everything because she wants to talk to God. God is her brother. And God betrayed her. And she just wants an explanation, and she's going to keep cracking skulls until she fucking gets one. You heard? Well, God did. So that's why he showed up finally, because he doesn't show up for anything. I mean, have you seen what's happened since in the beginning, since the first chapter? A lot. And he hasn't showed up for any of it. He just watched and he let it all happen. his creation run amok. And this is when Metatron becomes the voice of reason to God. And God tries to explain why he's pissed at her and how she kept ruining everything. Everything he tried to do, she come along and destroyed it. And she had to show him up, and he got tired of it because he wanted to be the center of attention, the center of the universe. Because why? Because he's God. Nobody can show God up except for his sister, his other half, his counterpart. Could not have that because it's a fucking girl. Gross. What a bitch. So of course he locked her away in darkness for eternity. Like he did his favorite angel, his old boy Lucifer, did the same thing to him. Because they were trying to point out that maybe he's being a little difficult, maybe he's being a little boring, maybe he shouldn't try to control everything so much and have a little fun. Fun. We can't do that, can we, Chuck? A god, because he is the dude, not the dude, not. No, that's a different. That's a totally different. That's a movie too. It's a totally different medium. This is television. That's from a different. It's a different. It's a different. Okay. All right. So like Metatron's trying to help God out here and be the voice of reason, but doing it a little bit like, hey dude, because you know he is God and he has been known to smite a time or two, or flood, or, you know, or famine, apocalypse. He's a little, what's the word? Temperamental. Just a little temperamental. That's all. He just needs. What he needed was the sensitive dealings of a woman, but that ego, that old ego of his, he couldn't. So Metatron, being the scribe god, says, "Sure, I'll read your book here." He starts reading it, and he says, "Hey, wait a minute, something's missing. Amara's missing from the story. Everybody else is in here but Amara. You left her out. Why'd you leave her out? You know?" And he explains that he's a big old puss, and that he didn't like being shut up by a girl, but he misses her. And once she was gone, he realized it was too late, but he couldn't do anything about it. Why? Because he'd already locked her away in the darkness to teach her a lesson to stop shining so bright and showing him up. You have to do things to make her jealous, to make her feel something. Show her. You can't smell what the god is cooking. I can't cut anymore because I don't have an editing app. I did, and then I deleted it because it had me room on this fucking thing. And then when I tried to download it again, I couldn't. It was like gone. I don't know. And so I have one shot. One shot. The money shot. That hand motion was also not to be confused with the band. Okay, so meanwhile, this important meeting between two figureheads, God and Metatron, is happening in some random bar somewhere in Milwaukee. I don't know where the fuck they were. Anyway, so there is this. Meanwhile, in town, whatever town this is, Dean and Sam are dealing with this terrible, terrible smog. that is rolling through town. This fog is rolling through town, and when it touches people, it makes them nuts. It makes them fucking loopy crazy. And then they break out in these gross black veins all over, and zombies? I don't know. They're trying to get in the building. I don't know if they eat people. They're just mad. I guess they're just mad. And the fog is starting to. They're locked themselves into the police department here, and they are also fun little fact. That baby in this scene that's crying, reaching for I think Sam. That was the baby who was really doing that. Anyway, Sam. Anyway, so they're typing up all the holes again. Stop getting it. Get your mind out of the gutter. Get it out of the gutter. Unless you're gonna take me there, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, they're plugging up all the holes, so the fog doesn't get in, weirdo. All right, so because this fog makes people icky, it makes them sicky, and we can't have that. Our heroes cannot get this. So um, so they're like locked into the police department. Uh, Meanwhile, back at the bar, uh, Chuck also mentions that he learned to play guitar. Coincidence? I don't fucking think so. No, it is. It's actually that is probably the only thing that's a coincidence in my whole life is that I've also learned to play guitar in the time that I've been gone. And he plays the song Fare Thee Well, and it touches my heart every time I hear Rob sing it because it just he's who would have thought? He also has this amazing voice and this musical talent, and it's a great song. So that's one of my favorite parts of the whole series, pretty much. This is one of my favorite episodes. It isn't my favorite. We'll get to that one, but it is one of my favorites. He plays the song, and then he decides he's gonna go find his sister because nobody we we establish in this episode also that men and women don't know how to communicate with each other. I guess because they could have talked. They could have talked to each other, and it didn't have to escalate to like fucking her destroying the world, him locking her up, all that. You know, they could have communicated, and it would have been different instead of all that. You know. So he decides, yeah, he's gonna work with Sam and Dean to fight the darkness and lock her back up in the dark forever, rather than communicating again. But we don't do that in Supernatural Land. We don't do that on Earth either. Like that has nothing to do with the show. Like us as a whole, the community of the world, we don't do that either enough. But so this is the episode where Sam and Dean also find out that Chuck Shurley, the author of the Supernatural book series that started it all, it didn't. I think that was like second or third season when they found out about that. Whatever, we didn't even find out about Chuck until today. But again, we're doing it different. We're doing it different. Okay, we're breaking patterns here, especially the ones about communication. It's key. This is how God's sister gets locked into a tower. I mean, in the darkness, is because there wasn't enough communicating with mouth sounds, words, not words like corn. Guess which Guess which type of corn I was referring to that time. Creamed. All right. Yeah, and then once Chuck pops into town, the fog lifts. Also, Metatron tells Chuck that he thinks his book sucks. And he kind of got pissed by it. But he still forgave him. And they had some drinks. They drank some whiskey drink. They drank some lager drink. They drank some cider drink. And you know what else they did? They sang some songs that remind them of the best times. Yeah. Okay. And then we're on to the next episode. Wow, that was almost 20 minutes of me rambling about one episode. One episode of Supernatural. But it is one of my favorites. It is a very important episode in the whole scheme of the story. And the song is fire. Rob is fire. Also, did you know that him and Ruth are together in real life and they just had a little baby? They just had a little baby. And that is so, that is so adorable and I love it so much because who would have thought? I don't even remember them ever having any scenes together. But hey, right on. And like nobody even found out until like the baby was born that she was even pregnant. Good job, guys. Way to keep it all secret. Very cool. Very cool. Very happy for you as well. You seem like you're very happy, and your little family is adorable, and I just love it for you guys. Also, in some scenes where Metatron's getting a little, oh wait, this little speech right here where he's getting a little worked up and telling Chuck what for, and Chuck has told him that about he was disappointed in his creation, that he was disappointed in people, and that he was just gonna destroy them again, because they didn't do what he wanted them to, so he was just gonna wipe them out, and that's when why do I want to call him Ludacris? It's ludicrous that I want to call him that. It's Metatron. He says they may be flawed, but you know one thing, they have love and they have joy and they try and they don't ever give up, and that's one thing you can't say about you, God. God's just willing to just wipe everybody out at the drop of the hat, start over if they disappoint him. So, not my God. My God don't. My God loves everybody. We were all created in His very image. You know what that means, don't you? You can interpret it however you like. And you can put it in the comments. Not in the comments on this video. Go put them in some tarot video comments. That'll be fun. Alright? I'm not going to read them. I'm just going to save them. Because I don't give a shit what you think. Alright? Take care. Love you. There's a horse for your viewing pleasure. Anyway, have a great rest of your day. How did I go from episode 11 yesterday to episode 20? Man, I don't know. I don't really know what happened. I don't know if I was awake and it didn't say. I don't know. But that's what's on now. Okay, so just deal with it. It'll be alright. We'll get there. We will get there. It takes some work. It takes some understanding. You know what else it takes? Communication. Plus, communication can be sexy. Kind of like corn. All right.